double penetration, I've never had it happen to me.
Well, I would hope not.
Thankfully. So I have no, and a lot of our men listeners haven't. Not all, but a lot probably haven't had it
A
happen
few
to
probably
them.
have.
Well, no, I have not. But what was it? So it was no good or was it good? You said it hurt, but was
It
it?
wasn't enjoyable at all.
A little, but it's just, I mean, they were both large, so putting
Right.
it into
Well, that's part of,
Matt's over in the back going, never mind, I'm out.
well, that's part of the problem. You got to get one large and one not so large.
yeah.
Yeah, you weren't really prepared.
I wasn't
Yeah.
prepared.
You didn't do your.
So it was the guy that I was seeing, and it was a fantasy of his. So I am willing to do things like that. So I just
Which is
did it.
cool.
yeah.
However,
Right.
at the same time, in my head, I'm going, I don't want to see my girl get fucked by another guy. We've already discussed
He was
that.
fucking me at the same time.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
but I
though.
don't care either. I couldn't
don't-
do it either.
I don't care. I mean, yeah, it's not going to happen. There's nothing about another guy putting his dick anywhere near you that I'm okay with.
Okay.
So
Tell me that doesn't feel like a cock.
I couldn't. I could never do
We've
it.
talked about this, right? It's like I get it. Some guys got this fantasy, but I couldn't.
And good for them, but I can't.
Exactly, fair enough. But I'll tell you right now, dude, you're not touching my
So
girl.
there was no
You're not
issues
touching
the
my girl.
next day.
He was okay with it. There was no hard feelings. It was like, life goes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if we've ever started the show
got
off
the
talking about
question-
DP before.
Oh my God.
That's why it's going to be a good
This
one.
is great.
Oh my God.
This is great.
That's
the
gonna be a
one
good
thing
one.
I said.
And you know what? I appreciate the fact that she's willing to talk about it because nobody else would be. Nobody's got the balls like
She
that.
kind of didn't have a choice.
No,
Yeah.
No, we threw her right in.
She literally said, for those of you that don't know before the show, she's like, so there's one thing that we can't discuss
Yes,
on
we
the
can.
show.
Off
She
limits.
says, I will talk about anything.
Oh, you said don't talk about it on
I
the
said
show?
it was off limits.
Oh, when
She-
I came up here and you're like, oh, they know all about it. I'm like, oh, okay, we're good to go. I didn't know there was like an off limits
Literally,
thing.
she
missed
goes,
the off limits part.
I will
Yeah, I
talk
just
about
heard-
anything, but there's one thing we can't discuss. I said, what's that? She goes, well, he knows. He'll bring it up. And if he does, he'll get a look. I said, well, you got to tell me so I know not to bring it. She goes, double penetration. I said, oh, it's getting brought up. The first fucking
it's-
thing you
yeah.
I
First thing
pulled
that
right
comes
out
out
of
of
the
your
fucking gate. She
You know, the
didn't stand
truth
a
of it
chance.
is, we talk about a lot of weird shit and a lot of fucked up shit, and we're really afraid to not. We're not afraid to talk about anything on the show, but. Had I known that you actually didn't want to talk about that, I probably wouldn't have brought it up. But when
He
I
would've
came
brought it
up,
later on. He wouldn't
she
have
was
brought it
like,
up right
"Oh,
away.
I let these guys know about it," and we were all giggling and everything. And I'm like, "Oh, all right, well then we're good to go on that." So the first thing I said, "Well, let's throw her right to the
To the wolves.
to the
Right to the
wolves,
wolves.
Yeah.
and get that over with. Then we'll go on with the normal show, and that way it just gets easier for her." And now come to find out, she didn't want to talk about that. So I'm glad we brought it up.
You would have, you still would have done it regardless.
I'm glad
You
that's
still
It
would
just
have.
depends
right.
on what he was going to
It
do.
would have been
Mm-hmm.
deeper in the.
So either way, for you ladies listening, apparently maybe each are different. Michelle didn't enjoy it; it was painful.
No. I haven't.
Of course, there's not much to you, so
No.
I will. For people that can't see this,
Which should almost
obviously,
be perfect for you because she's so little. You would be big,
for the thimble dick.
right?
Yes.
The thimble dick.
So she needs a guy with a big dick and a guy with a little dick.
I love how you pointed to me when you said big dick. I really
I was
appreciate
pointing-
that. See, that's a real friendship right there.
Well,